Hey, everybody. Uh, just wanted to take a moment here with all of the anxiety and stress that is happening right now uh, in society at large because of the not knowing what's about to happen, what we're about to go through, um, how long we're going to be going through it. I just wanted to take a minute here and give you a couple of tools, techniques that you can use to uh, reduce anxiety in yourself, in your students, your family, your relatives, whoever that it is. These are techniques that are really easy to do, take just a few moments to do them, and can be really, really beneficial. So, the first technique that I want to teach you is called bilateral stimulation. Anxiety tends to exist in one hemisphere of the brain. And what that anxiety tends to be is an overstimulation of that hemisphere. So, what happens is by activating both hemispheres, we can help the anxiety reduce because the anxiety can't keep itself together as it goes through both hemispheres, as both hemispheres are activated. So, for bilateral stimulation, what you're going to do is this. You're going to take something. It does not matter what. In fact, it doesn't have to be anything. But you're just going to take something uh, and you're going to hold it directly in front of you. And then you're going to start passing it back and forth between. Now, before you start doing that, do this. Take what's called subjective units of distress, or SUDS. All that means is check in with yourself or whoever you're doing this technique with and say, on a scale of 1 to 10, where is that anxiety? How bad is it? And whatever they say, that's fine. But once you do that, have them take whatever it is, tennis ball, marker, whatever, have them start passing it back and forth. Cross the midline when you pass. And just have them take a deep breath while they're passing. Because breathing is going to be super important to all of these. And just have them keep going for a few minutes. And have them notice that this is working and how much that anxiety is reducing. So have them pass it back and forth. And then let them stop and check in again. On a scale of 1 to 10, how bad is it? And then see how it's gone down. And just keep doing it until you get all the way down to 0. So that is bilateral stimulation. All right? That is the first technique. It's very, very powerful because, again, it activates both sides of the brain. The second technique I want to teach you is called peripheral vision. And so what you're going to do, you're going to have them or yourself just take a moment and focus on a spot on the wall, door, whatever's in front of you. Try to pick a spot a little bit above eye level. And just focus on that spot and begin to shift into your peripheral vision. And just imagine that as you do that, you're shifting further and further back, expanding your vision more and more, until almost you could imagine almost being able to reach around and see behind yourself. And then focus back in and notice the difference. What doing that does, shifting in the peripheral vision, will also activate your peripheral nervous system, which is going to help calm you down and slow down. So peripheral vision is something that can be incredibly powerful to use as well. And these techniques, you can layer them on top of each other, you can mix and match, find out what works for you, and do that, all right? The last technique I want to teach you is called backwards spin. Now, this technique is going to make use of what we call submodalities. And all that really means is there are 3 systems that we work with: visual, auditory, kinesthetic. What we're going to do is we're going to take anxiety, which is in the kinesthetic system, and shift it into the auditory and visual systems, and then we're going to break that down and play with those a little bit. So if you have had my whole mind communication training, you will have already seen this in action a little bit, but here's basically what you're going to do. Once again, take SUDS, scale of 1 to 10, how big is it? And the reason we do that, the reason I emphasize that with every one of these techniques, is because if you don't know where it starts out, it's harder to notice it changing. But if you know where it starts and you kind of have a measurement on that, then as it changes, the effect becomes even stronger. So this last technique is called backwards spin. And with backwards spin, what you're going to do, have them take suds, scale of 1 to 10, and then have them uh, close their eyes, take a deep breath, and imagine where that anxiety is. Most people will feel it sort of in this area down in the stomach, but just have them imagine where that anxiety is, and then have them imagine that that anxiety floats out of their body so that it's right in front of them. And as that anxiety floats out of their body and it's right in front of them, just have them imagine they can see it and imagine what color it is. Then have them ask what color they would rather it be. And once they've asked what color they would rather it be, or once they've answered that question, have them turn it to that color. Now have them notice the shape of it or the size of it. Have them change it to something that works better for them. Have them notice if it has any texture to it and have them change that. Notice if it's moving. A lot of times anxiety has a spin. Well, if it's spinning or moving, have them reverse that spin or movement. And when they reverse the spin or the movement, and they've gotten everything changed, so it's the right color, the right shape, the right texture, the right movement, whatever they want, have them imagine that it floats back into their body and have them notice the difference. And once again, take suds. And you'll see a significant drop almost every time. So those are the 3 techniques I want to teach you. Use them with your family, your friends, yourself, your students, whatever it is. Use these techniques to help everybody kind of calm down, take a breath in the moment. Everybody stay safe and well. And if I can be of any resource to any of you, please let me know. Thanks, everybody.